Okay. So thanks again and welcome to the June board meeting. We are going to talk about what we did this month and where we want to go for June, and then maybe even briefly go over like the big picture kind of stuff. So first I want to talk about where we are in terms of the journal artist program. Let's see. So I'm just going to share screen now. So this is the big picture. We have the Star of David here, but essentially two triangles pointing upwards. One's pointing upwards, one's pointing downwards, or spiraling up, spiraling down. So you have essentially the 3-act tragedy and the 3-act divine comedy. And I think what's shifted was I thought that the spiraling up triangle was the love story, but I was wrong. So this is a recent breakthrough I've had. I realized that the love story is actually the entire Star of David. It's actually to fully know your tragedy in the yin world and to fully understand your divine comedy in the yang world, And so we're possibly even looking at 3 programs, the 3-act tragedy, the 3-act divine comedy, and then the third one would be like the actual historical novel that would somehow encompass all the writings from when you first started in the tragedy and integrate that into the divine comedy so you get the full picture of where you've been. So that's technically your third book. At least that's the overview of what I have. I really don't know the timeline to this, but what I am aiming for is to completely and thoroughly write out and produce the 3-act tragedy program before the end of 2020, and then get the 3-act divine comedy up. So our journal artist currently, so this morning I met with Viviani, Sarah, Rebecca, Allie, and I went over this 3rd act with them, the 3rd act of the tragedy, and really it's about judgment and grace. This used to be judgment and love, but no, it's actually judgment and grace. And so really the 3rd person voice is the ability to layer the 1st person voice and the 2nd person voice to produce a powerful 3rd person voice when you're narrating a scene. And what we want our journal artists to become good at in craft is the ability to close the gap between what happened and they're documenting it in the 3rd person narrative. So, but that takes practice. That takes a lot of journaling. The first journal, the introspective person, and then journaling the 2nd, the extroverted realm of what's going on, to layer it and build that ability to write like the way J.K. Rowling writes in Harry Potter. It's action, it's key scenes that move the plot, and it's dialogue, And this part in Act 3 is actually where Katie's and I are gonna be working more towards, and Tamara, you're gonna be onboarding with us soon. And so this is the transition from judgment to grace. This is the bridge from a tragedy into a divine comedy here. And then we have the 2nd playbook. This one's a short one. And it's short because it's based on 1 Corinthians 13, 4-7. Love is patient, love is kind, and then all the nots. Not envy, not boast, not. Not is in Taoist philosophy, not is non-action as an action. It's being in flow. They call it in Chinese wu wei. Wu wei. Wu is like not, and wei is flow, non-action. So it's like this, it aligns with not envy, not boast. So what I would like to do with Tamara, Katie, and I in the next quarter 2 and 3 is to perhaps look into this once I finish. I got to re-edit it, just a couple of stuff. I'm a perfectionist. But once that's ready, we'll go over it and we'll start applying it and begin writing our Divine Comedy through it. And then from there, we can start building a program. So I don't ever build a program unless I actually went through it, experimented with it like we did with the 3-act tragedy, So that's where it's at. Any questions about that?
No, not so far. Well, I do. Let me take it back. If we're going to be writing the comedy from the perspective of the book, if we've already kind of started arcing the story, will we have to go back and just kind of fill in the gaps that we missed, or kind of curtail it to what the book says?
Oh, let me clarify on that.
Okay.
The book is a self-help playbook for the person.
Okay.
So you're reading it as if you're meditating on the principles of it, but you're actually not writing about the book. The book is for you to act accordingly, a reminder to how to be in the way of patience and kindness.
Okay.
And as you start acting it out in reality, then you have some material to journal about it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So you're living your life. It's no different than what we've already gone through. It's just the literature itself will hyper focus on the way of 1 Corinthians 13, 4-7.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is patience and kindness. And whereas, in contrast, the 3-act tragedy, the spiraling down, was all based on 1 Corinthians 13:12, which is the mirror effect. For now we see a reflection as in a mirror, and leveraging, soul mirrors, kindred spirits, to be able to see our noble shadows and be able to create a silver lining playbook from that. So you'll be armed with the silver linings playbook for yourself that's unique, and then you'll be armed with the playbook that's going to show you the way of patience and kindness. And it's conceptual, of course, but your responsibility as a journal artist is to embrace it and apply it, so when you act out, you have something to document.
Okay.
Yeah, at least that's the idea. We'll
Okay.
see what really happens. I hope it happens the way it happens. Okay, so there's that. All right. What is next on the agenda? Let's see. Let me go back. Updates on landing pages. So I'm gonna scroll over to the Miro, and if Katie and Tamara could each, describe what we've done this month in terms of optimizing the landing pages for better user experience. Let's see. Okay. Tamara, would you like to go first?
Yes. Do you want me to go start with landing page A that we all did together?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, during the meeting, we were all piggybacking off of something that I believe that John had said, that there should be only 2 buttons, like one for a reading, or one to write. But we took it, I guess, a step further, and we came up with steps for each one. With the first one, the landing page, the first thing that people are going to see is like the shadow work video. And then there are 2 buttons for that one, either journal alone or journal in a group. And down on the next box, if they click journal alone, they'll see like where you can create a page, or why it's important. I'm sorry. Yeah, why it's important. And there are 3 steps with that one: how to journal, and it's going to include another video, and downloading the e-journal. And I think the one thing that stuck out with everybody this time was getting people to write. So I think downloading the e-journal is something that's going to be repetitive. I know it was in mine. And then sign up to get journal entry resonated. Going down to the third box, let's see. That's where the mirror work, I guess, is coming in. And that's going to start out with another video and signing them up with the Google Calendar, where they'll be able to see where everybody has a journaling class, and they can sign up with a particular person or sign up with just any kind of group, and they'll be able to see what the love story is doing from that calendar. And then comes the step 3, and that's the preparation with the worksheets. And I can't remember if we were just going to do the worksheets or the workbooks, or if they were the one and the same thing.
Good question. I believe we're gonna give them like a simple worksheet, like
Okay.
really simple, not something we would do for paid members. Yeah.
Okay.
Also on the note of signing up for workshops, Tamara suggested instead of just doing 1 voucher, we do 3, so people could get a sense of what this is about, because sometimes the first time is awkward, so we want to get them comfortable. And then secondly, like I said, I spoke with the second cohort of journal artists who are ready to publish in the near future in 2020, and I encourage them to start their own journaling workshops, like just to sign it up. So I've added them on our internal calendar for workshops. So I've encouraged them to journal consistently for themselves, but also offering it as a class for any outsiders that want to come in and check it out, so I think when we have this Google Calendar on the public page, it'll look pretty cool. It'll be like journaling with Mingjie at this time, journaling with Katie at that time, journaling at, and then they could just check it out and just sign up for whatever time slot is available. And we'll make sure to keep it at maximum 10 people. Yeah. Cool. And this one, Tamara? Oh, hold on, give me 1 second. Okay, go ahead.
All right, now the second landing page was it was going to be more based on the shadow work and browsing the interviews and things like that. So you have 2 buttons: either read the journal entries or watch artist interviews. And we talked about like creating like a filter where they could get to the artist interviews by the negative keywords. They could type those in individually. And going down where they could read journal entries if they chose that one. They could read it like according to whatever interest that they have, the negative keywords, or by looking at the love story creatives. Like if they have a particular artist that they like to read, they can research them by that. And the third one, downloading the e-journal and getting them to write.
Yeah.
And the next button where they have to watch the interviews according to interest, that's where they can type in the negative keywords and find an artist interview that associates with like being abandoned or being left alone or something like that. Then they find it by the artist names. And that's kind of already on the website like that, where they have the picture and the name of the artist, and you can just click one. So that's already done. And then the third step, just downloading the e-journal again.
Any questions or comments about this so far? Okay. All right, Katie, could you go over landing page C with us?
Yeah. So for landing page C, it was more about you know, when you're getting towards publication. So we had talked about, you know, again, having kind of a video to show how you take the tragedy to a love story, what it looks like to get all your journal entries together and get them published in either a hardcover or like an ebook format. So going through what it means to go through Act 1, which is like 15 journal entries, and then also checking out which works have been published, either, you know, previously, the self-help books, and then also those of us who had gone through the process of getting published, just with our works being published there, so that they can see it like, hey, this is, you know, someone who's actually gone through the process, and this is what the end result looks like. So that was landing page C, the first one. And then for number 2, when you're getting ready to write the first act, so when they're like, hey, I want to actually, you know, start publishing my stuff, that's what I want to work towards, having videos on how to go through Act 1 with those first few journal entries, which will be more focused in on the first person rather than the third person or even the second person. So just how to write consistently. What does it mean to write in the first person? What does that look like? Why would you want to write in the first person? So kind of explaining some of those benefits, and that call to action to join a resident editing group so that they can have, you know, the experience of getting their work kind of looked at by others, so that it can see it in real time what the benefit of journaling actually is and what the whole purpose is. So that's kind of what we had talked about. And then number 3, instead of number 2, so checking out the published work. So when they're starting to get close to the process, you know, having those videos of how those of us who have gone through the process have transformed the tragedy into the love story through fiction based on a true story, with us, the journal artists who have gone through that. One, how to publish a journal entry on the website. This is optional, so they don't have to do that necessarily, but if they want to get that first like step of sharing it with the world, they've gone through the resident editing and they're like, hey, I want to like actually put this forth, we'll show them how to do that. Shop in videos with the authors, again, who have been published, their testimonies, you know, why choose the love story, why go through 40 or whatever journal entries. We'd have a section for that, and then like a free download, so like the ebook of how to self-publish, because there are a couple different options on how to publish, whether it's through Vellum or you go through some other publishing agent, or, you know, doing Kindle Direct Publishing, Barnes & Noble's Nook, or whatever format they want to use. Steps for how to compile the journal entry. So once they get closer to the end of like, you know, do you want to break it up into this kind of section, or, you know, what's going to work best for you once you get through the first person, second person, and those different steps. How to get them edited, whether resident edited or professionally edited, through either the group of those who've gone through it or finding another editing group, and then how to publish as a book. So that's what we were kind of throwing around for that section of the publishing side.
Yeah. I also want to say that we're onboarding James, our CFO, who's going to help us make financial sense of this. We might adjust, cut certain things out that might not make sense, and enhance things that will. I think the rule of thumb is just to keep it simple, like super simple for people, and somehow win them over to want to invest an annual membership with us. And then also I'm bringing in a man named John, who's going to be our controller. He's going to help me work on Google Sheets and build it to create like one super sheet that's going to allow our basic general accepted accounting practices with the 990 IRS forms, with budgeting. Somehow we're going to make it work. So like ideally each landing page will have some kind of fiscal logic behind it, a return on investment. Like, why are we making this landing page? what is the action we want people to do, what is the freebie we're giving them, and what is the call to action we want them to do, you know. And of course this will be adjusted like maybe later, or added a different landing page. But this is the first time you've heard it, Aura, from us. So just briefly, what's your reaction to this? Like, what do you think so far? Oh, you're muted, by the way, Aura.
Sorry, I started responding. Oh, I love it. I think it's really tidy, and logical, like easy to understand. And yeah, I kind of want to zoom in again just because I wanted to put a couple more notes, but I was sometime, hang on. So maybe I'll do that after the meeting, actually. But I actually loved it. And I think that the 3 different landing pages makes a lot of sense. I personally, I went to the website last week, I think, and I checked it out too. So yeah, I think it makes more sense. I feel more confident sending people there now and having them kind of be able to, you know, peruse and kind of get a better gist. And also from everyone I've spoken to, who, you know, who you've passed along to me for the interviews for the grant writing, I've asked every single person if they've taken a look at the website, just to kind of see like what they've gleaned. And yeah, they all seem like they get it, you know. So yeah, that's what I have to say about it. So,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And quick shout out to Callie, one of our journal artists. She's about to publish her book, that she's been with us for almost a year and a half, and she is also ready to publish. So it's like exciting. We're gonna just bring our work to the forefront. And she also posted 26 new journal entries. Just, we were backlogged for a while, and she really helped us clean it up. So big shout out to Callie on that. And then let's go to our agenda now. Let's see. Yes, I'm going to talk about what has been going on the last week and 2 weeks. We've been working really hard to look for a CFO and a grant team and an AdWords team. So I'm going to share on the AdWords team right now, and how that's, I mean, we have a very strong AdWords team. So let me see if I can jump straight to something else. By the way, this is just like, it's going to be organized one day. For now, it's just a mosaic of ideas. Okay, so this is our goal for the next 4 months. And I made sure to specify these goals to all the people we're onboarding on the marketing team, and how it's going to help assist as an overall healthy organization. Goal 1, you know, I mean, hold on, let me start from the top. Our journaling campaign is right here. We inspire the brokenhearted to journal pain into purpose, one journal entry at a time, artist inspired. Just like that. That's what we do. And there's 3 ways of doing it that's going to activate, engage, and really allow the person believing that they are a journal artist. One is the DIY, which we just went over. Tamara and Katie, thank you again for being so thorough in advising on putting together the different options on how, because this is really what it's all about in the beginning. People coming in, not really understanding it, but they're in pain, and somehow we're going to be able to attract them over to giving it a shot. So we want them to start journaling on their own. This is this is our marketing team for that. Sheila, great experience with marketing. She's going to help us with marketing strategy overall. So how is she going to be able to integrate all our platforms, or which platform would make this make sense to bring people in to land on the pages that we want them to land on? AJ has 10 years in Google AdWords experience. So he's going to be leading a team of 3 other people. Each person's going to be assigned a persona. There's 9 personas currently on our Google AdWords campaign. So each person, Christina, Daniel V, and Daniel W, will be assigned 3 personas, and their sole mission is to work and coordinate with me and Haley on executing on these landing pages to make sure that they look tight and it makes sense. And why are we doing that? Our goal for the next 4 months is to increase the amount of people that are going to journal on their own from our website. Currently, I have an estimate of 221 people per month that's actively journaling on the website on their own. Of course, I can't prove any of this, but based on our analytics, we get about 7,000 unique people trafficking our website a month. And if we're using a simple 3% conversion rate, then out of the 7,000, 221 people are actively journaling, which is below standard conversion rate. So I'm actually being conservative with my estimates. Our goal in 4 months is to increase that by from 221 people per month to 1,000 people per month. So that means we're gonna somehow, some way increase the traffic to 35,000 users per month at a 3% conversion rate. My math might be off, but please double check. I'm going with it right now. Any questions about DIY journaling first? Okay, awesome. The next step is to get them to journal with us. We're very blessed right now in that we have people that came from the pilot program 1.5 years ago, and they're still with us. And we have a wealth of journal entries donated by all of us, whether pen name or real name, but those journal entries speak for itself, you know? So like I said, I met with Rebecca, Sarah, Allie, Viviani this morning. I'm meeting with Chelsea and Bree tomorrow. And I'm just inviting them to journal, just keep journaling for their own journey. But at the same time, while you're journaling on your own journey, hold space for other people, especially during this COVID-19 crisis. I know for me, I keep journaling every day because I'm consistent with creating a workshop for just that hour. And already I'm getting a lot of material for my Divine Comedy, because and for me, it's like 15 minutes a day. Really, that's all it takes for me. I mean, I'm being a little arrogant here, but I would say I would probably have to tighten it up. I'll have to make some nighttime to tighten up what I started. But even that 15 minutes for me anchors me in being consistent and building the momentum. So my encouragement for all the journal artists in June is to go on our in-house calendar, start putting in your slots, your journaling availability. And if nobody shows up, guess what? You get to journal, you know, or if nobody shows up, guess what? You get to edit your work, you know, that's your sacred space. But, you know, once we all start posting our availabilities in the month of June in a Google Calendar, we'll be able to put it publicly on that specific landing page that Katie and Tamara described earlier. And that way people can see, wow, I get to interact and actually experience what this journaling thing actually feels like, looks like, you know. And I truly believe that once they get their feet wet, you know, 3 journal entries in, hopefully they'll give it a shot, you know, as a member. So these are the producers. for group journaling. And these are the marketing team. And then this one right here, oh yeah, so marketing is like the lot of us. This is the Google AdWords team. And then this is, Sheila has extensive experience just marketing, managing in general, strategy and all that. So she's going to give us even more insight on how we're going to integrate effectively the other platforms. And AJ, again, the lead for the Google ads. Landing page, Haley and I. All right, so let's look at the goal for that. We want to generate some sort of revenue. Starting tomorrow, I'm raising the money, the value from $11 to $111 for annual membership, Act 1. And I think we can, in that $111 gift, include like a volume and a textbook in that. So at least just something to get them started, like a starter kit, you know. I think then it's going to be like Dollar Shave Club, you know, but we're not going to do it monthly. We're just, you know, you're a member, welcome, a nice little card, you know, here's a textbook, here's a volume that you could pick out, and, you know, a little bit of what we're about, you know, really bring value. I really want to over deliver on the investment they're giving. And so, you know, this month we've had 3 converted members, and our goal for June is 15. Our goal for July, end of July, is 50, and 100 for August 30th. That'll generate some revenue, and that revenue will go directly to start, like, you know, paying our in-house people to start posting, editing. You know, if someone submitted a great journal entry but needs a lot of like grammar and spelling work, like, we want to pay our in-house people to do that. And then, of course, to facilitate anything. I mean, again, I'll be working with James and John, our controller, John, to go over like the ROI, the funnel, because again, the numbers have to make sense. So this is just the $111 is what I have in mind, but just wanted to put that as a placeholder because I have to go over the financial details with them. But any questions about that? All right. Last but not least, and this is where I'm going to ask Aura to share on what we spoke of this month in June between you, me, and Amy regarding the showcase journaling. Oh, Aura, you're muted again.
Sorry about that. Yeah, so let's see. I'm just trying to, okay, so I apologize. Did you want me to talk about the benefit concert or about we're not talking about the grant writing right now, right? Just
Yeah, the benefit concert first.
Oh, okay, cool. So yeah, so we were thinking about putting together a benefit concert that features one of our published artists at a time. And so we want to live stream them via social media platforms. Ideally, if we could live stream them via multiple different platforms at the same time, that would be the best because it would increase our engagement and audience. But each concert would just feature one artist and it would be short. So we were thinking the initial length of time we were initially thinking was 13 minutes, but it doesn't need to be exactly that. And the reason for keeping it short is so that we can kind of so that people don't get bored. You know, we catch their attention and it's just like a cool like pop-up mini concert, instead of like this thing that they really have to like commit to, like most people have 13 minutes to spare in the middle of their day, as opposed to like an hour or two. And so we were thinking that we would basically come up with a series of assets per artist that we were featuring. So we could post those on like Instagram or whatever platform it was to kind of like advertise that it was coming up. And then, there would be the live streaming. And then we were thinking basically there would be like a moderator. So say it was Mingjie kind of, introducing the artist. Then like the artist, if they were a musician, might like play a song. If they were a yogi, maybe they would like teach a meditation, or, it would really, we could adapt each concert or, live streaming performance to the artist. So whatever they like wanted to share with people during this time, which is intense for a lot of people with coronavirus. So, and then after they kind of, presented whatever it was that they wanted to share, maybe this is just kind of brainstorming, but maybe it would go back to like, say, Mingjie, and then maybe she would like introduce a journaling prompt. So then we could put like a journaling prompt. And that prompt could either be like discussed ahead of time with the artist, or the artist might come up with it, or maybe it would be something that was like a two-way kind of thing, like between the artist and the presenter, or the whoever's giving the introductions. So we could kind of like figure out the details of that later. And then the next thought was that after we do that kind of like little mini concert journaling prompt, then we would also like invite people to like an after show or an after party kind of thing, where it would be like a group journaling session, and they could get kind of like little vouchers for it or something if they attended the concert, or if they buy a journal. And so the entire live stream would also have, I think we were thinking ideally we would have like a link at the bottom that says like to purchase a journal, go to, and then give our website or the link, or, it might be like a buy one, get one free, or, some kind of, it could be like a discounted journal, or we can come up with the details later. But yeah, the entire concept is basically to replace the typical crowdfunding campaign. So instead of using Kickstarter, for instance, where they give you like a 30 or a 60-day like window, I think between the two, to raise funds, instead of kind of having that time constraint where you have just like a static page, we're actually like, we would be spreading out, this kind of like fundraising concept over space and time, making it more interactive, increasing engagement, and yeah, I don't know if that makes sense. And we have so many artists that we have interviewed so far that we kind of have a large pool of artists to invite to this cause. So of course, we need to discuss with the artists themselves and see who wants to participate. But yeah, does that make sense to everybody? Kind of.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's a good idea too.
Cool.
I definitely like that idea.
Cool. Yeah, it would be fun, I think. So.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Aura.
Yeah, you're welcome. Sorry if I was rambling a little bit.
No, it's good. Thank
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, that brings us to the final goal. We want to have 100 people sign up for the first live artist-inspired journaling concert live stream after party show by August 1st. We have a showcase example here. Of course, this is pre-COVID-19. So, we've done these showcases before. We've had these artists perform, and then the audiences journal with the books available. So it's not like it hasn't been done. It's been done. It's been vetted. People enjoy it. People make new friends there. So I think the bridge is, how do we make this just as engaging and transformative in the virtual space? So the first thing that comes to mind to me was 2 months ago, Cry Wolf, one of my favorite artists that I happened to interview and also on the Love Story, he put together a Cry Wolf benefit concert to a charity cause, separate. I didn't get him in time, but anyway, he got a lot of people. I attended his virtual concert, and it was in Zoom. He did it in Zoom, and in that way, it's like a room, and then you could see people. So then it doesn't feel so one way. It felt like a virtual space, just of our own. And after you purchase the tickets on Eventbrite, he had us on his private mailing list, and he would let us know occasionally leading up to the day of the concert. And he would make sure, like, this is the link, please don't share it, this is just for you, and he'd have like limited seats available. So I found that to be quite interesting to model after, and perhaps even maybe talk to Cry Wolf directly if if he already has done a virtual concert like that. But his was long, like his was like 2 hours. I don't know about asking him to do a 13-minute. He might, we'll see. So yeah, there's that. But our goal is to have 100 people sign up before the day of the concert, and really give them something meaningful that they feel like, wow, this is worth my investment. It could be even as low as $5, for this concert. And then from there, we can maybe upsell when they're inside, like, hey, if you want a sample of this diary, and we could just pretty much sell it, in between the concerts. Or we could sell it before the concert, like, hey, $5 for the ticket, $10 for the diary, or $20 retail diary, but if you buy it today with the concert, it's $15 total for the concert and the book, something like that, to get people to see like, wow, this is worth it, Again, we'll talk more about that with Amy as well, or and I. This would be our marketing team, Sheila, Casey, and AJ. And Haley and I will work on the landing pages. So we're looking at perhaps Eventbrite for sure on that. Airbnb experience, post it there. Meetup groups, post it there. Just anywhere. Or TikTok. Apparently that's like a important platform now that everyone's on. So I don't know. We're just going to have to talk with the marketing team. So speaking of marketing team, I truly feel like we have onboarded an amazing marketing team. So Sheila, Casey, AJ, Daniel. Hold on, let me just, okay. So AJ, Christina, Daniel, Haley, and Casey. So yeah, 6 people we've onboarded, and they're going to be starting on Monday. So we're going to start ramping up. Like, this is, yeah, we're operating. We're operating now.
Wait, did I get the names? Are there 2 Daniels?
Yes.
Wait.
Yes.
Okay.
Daniel Valdez and Daniel Wong.
So there's a Daniel V and a Daniel W. And then did you say, I'm just trying to keep notes, a Casey, AJ, Christina, and a Haley? Or wait, 1, 2, 3.
Haley and Sheila. So Sheila.
Oh, okay. And Sheila.
Yeah. Sheila, AJ, Christina, Daniel, Haley, and Casey. 7.
Okay. Got it.
7. We've onboarded 7. That's
Cool.
our marketing team. In addition to Katie and Tamara. So yeah, we're gonna have to come up with like I'm gonna talk with Sheila because she's like, again, she has extensive experience with marketing. I'll show you her resume later. She's going to help us come up with a holistic strategy to make our goals meet. And then we'll just execute, you know. Okay, speaking of which, grant team, because this is recorded and for like the public, Aura, could you just generally share on what your progress is for the Google grant team? Because I feel like we haven't yet decided fully, right? But anyway, why don't you share just in general what we've been through the last couple weeks?
Yeah, so we have been, we've received a lot of applications for the grant writing positions. And so Mingjie has been kind of going through them first, and then sending me over the candidates that seem promising to her. And then they've been meeting with me. And so we're trying to build a team of 3 or 4 people who will be the grant writers. And then possibly we might be onboarding a couple more people to help with the artist inspired journaling, right? Or are we just going to stick with the marketing team that we have? Is that going to be separate from the marketing team?
No, we're gonna bring
Okay.
them on for the showcase. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we might also be looking for a few people to help with the showcase, that kind of and it would be I feel like we're leaning towards younger people for those positions, right? Just because they kind of, since we're thinking about using platforms like TikTok and things that really appeal to like younger generations, I just feel like it would be helpful to have like insights from younger people who maybe use those platforms and kind of see it from that user perspective.
Yeah, it's gonna depend on their work experience on
Yeah.
the
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Um, so yeah, that's where we're at with that. And let's see, journaling workshops. Yeah, was there anything else on our agenda, or did we?
No, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah. Any questions or comments thus far?
No.
I think the only thing was in the Slack channel, you mentioned that John had left the board, but I wasn't sure if that was important.
That is. I'm gonna stop recording and then we'll talk about that.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions about our like what we talked about today?
No.
Okay. Cool. I mean, I'm really excited. I don't know about y'all, but like, like we're getting stuff done.
Oh yeah. No, I'm excited too.
Together.
Yeah, and just to give you a heads up, Aura and I both believe that we're bringing in a strong grant writing team as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the people who we've met with, some really experienced, really promising candidates. So yeah, definitely feeling optimistic about that.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. Thanks. I'm gonna stop recording now.